Hi guys, welcome to McKola TV. I'm Adam and it feels so good to be back doing a match preview. Yes, I have missed Premier League. I've missed Manchester, forget Premier League football. I've missed watching Manchester United. Over these last 2 weeks, it feels like it's been 2 months during this international break. The international break has well and truly got to me. And this last week I've been like, oh man, I can't wait for Saturday. Saturday needs to come along ASAP. And now it's right around the corner, less than 48 hours away from Manchester United being in action at Old Trafford against West Bromwich Albion. Now, my eagerness to get back at football and back watching Manchester United has made me forget about the dreadful injury and selection issues that we have coming into this game. Now, guys, thank you all for joining me. I can see the numbers are growing. The numbers are growing. So make sure you keep your comments coming in and I'll read some of your comments out as we're going along. If you're watching this back and we're not live right now, then where were you? You should have joined us live. But thank you for watching anyway, and thank you for catching up with the preview. So today we're going to talk about that injury and suspension problems that we have ahead of the game. Who's missing, who could play, who may not play, etc, etc. And we're going to talk about the game itself against West Bromwich Albion. How difficult will that game be? Obviously, with the problems that we do have, then it's going to be annoying. But yeah, we need to worry about what are West Brom's threats? What are they going to pose to us? So we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about my preferred 11. We'll talk about my prediction. And we'll answer some of your questions too. So make sure you keep commenting. This is your show. Make sure you keep involved. I'll speak about the few things that I want to talk about. And then, of course, you guys can get your questions answered. So coming into this game, definitely out for Manchester United as Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Ander Herrera, Chris Smalling and Phil Jones. Could you believe it? Chris Smalling, Chris Smalling injures Phil Jones and then goes and gets injured himself on international duty. So with Zlatan and Herrera suspended, those two join them as definitely out of this game. Now, Paul Pogba obviously picked up that hamstring injury before the game. He picked up that hamstring injury before the game, before the international break, and that was a disappointing blow for Manchester United. Now, a lot of people have been saying, yo, you need to take Pogba out of this team. Pogba shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be starting week in, week out because he's not been good enough. But listen, we miss Paul Pogba when he doesn't play. And Paul Pogba potentially is going to be missing for this game as well. Jose Mourinho didn't confirm it, but he didn't seem confident Paul Pogba would be back. And you don't want to rush him back as well if he is feeling his hamstring injury. So Paul Pogba's likely to be out and joins Zlatan, Herrera, Smalling and Jones as players that are going to be missing. And then, of course, we've got Fellaini and Rooney who are touch and go. Marcos Rojo and Sergio Romero will be returning back late from South America. So what will be going on with them when they return? And obviously Marcos Rojo's an important one there. With Smalling and Jones out, we're looking to be playing Bailey and Rojo. But if Rojo's not fit or not fresh enough to play, then that would too be a worry. So we've got selection issues ahead of this game. And this is, fortunately, is Zlatan Ibrahimovic's last game of his suspension, which is great news as well. And of course, Herrera's final game of his suspension. So those two will be back after this game. But will we miss them in this game against West Bromwich Albion? Zach says Pogba will be back for Everton, which is on Tuesday, which is why I think it's unlikely Jose will risk him if he is feeling his hamstring, because we've got a game 3 days later. You don't want to play him and he pulls up again against West Brom, because then he's definitely out of the game against Everton. So yeah, I could totally see that happening, Zach. Bailey and Blind at centre back, says Tesso. Rojo and Bailey, says Ikran. He thinks they'll do the job just fine. Aaron says he thinks it will be an ugly win for United 3-1. West Brom is a team which plays direct for air balls. Do you think Fellaini should start? He's obviously potentially out as well, but if he's fit, I wouldn't be surprised to see him start. Now, as you rightly say, West Bromwich Albion have scored a lot of goals from set pieces, and also their defenders They have more goals from defenders than any other club in the Premier League. 12 goals from defenders, which shows you that when they get their defenders up from the back at set pieces, free kicks from wide positions and corners, they are definitely a threat. They posed Arsenal a threat as well, but I think Arsenal's defending was very poor on that day. But West Brom, they come into it, on great form. Their recent form in their last 8, sorry if I look to my right, it's just my notes. West Brom's recent form is they've won 4, drawn 2, lost 2 of their last 8 league games. That's fantastic form for a team like West Bromwich Albion, no disrespect to them. And they're sitting in 8th in the table, which is great credit to Tony Pulis. They have, though, only won 1 of their last 8 away league games. Only won 1 of their last 8 away league games. West Bromwich Albion beat them 3-0. A comfortable victory as well. So, given the form books, it should be a difficult game, but United should win. But with that added pressure and that added worry of having no Smalling, no Jones, no Pogba, no Herrera, no Zlatan, maybe no Fellaini, maybe no Rooney, that is a big worry. And they're sure to pose us some problems. They have as well won 2 of their last 3 games at Old Trafford. Not many teams have a record like that at Old Trafford. Before that, they didn't win at Old Trafford in a long, long time. But out of their last 3 games, they've won 2 of the last 3 at Old Trafford, which as well, again, shows that they should be... we should show these guys respect, and we're going to have to show them respect anyway. We will, though, hopefully, have some players that are on form and fresh and ready for this. Mkhitaryan scored for Armenia in the international break. Hopefully he's fit and ready to go. Juan Mata, of course, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, who looked bright for England when he came on and has looked good for Manchester United. He played very well against Middlesbrough. The only thing he didn't do was score, which is, again, a bit of a worry. But, I mean, even Zlatan Ibrahimovic has missed countless opportunities for United. But, of course, you want to see your strikers taking their chances. Akshay says Rondon is a threat, as well as Super Darren Fletcher, the football genius. And I do agree with you as well. Rondon, their top goal scorer with McKola on 7 goals. Let me look now. What else do I want to talk? United are unbeaten in 18 games in the league. We haven't lost since that Chelsea game in the league. Of course, we lost against Chelsea in the Cup as well since then. MUFC Matt says stick Martial up top. Lingard to start, says Andy Mansa. Now, the team that I would start for the game goes a little bit something like this. David De Gea in goal. Valencia, Bailey, Rojo available. That is, of course, another option. I think Pogba could start. I'd go with Carrick and Pogba or Fellaini, depending which one's fit enough to start. So go with Carrick, Pogba or Fellaini. Then Mkhitaryan, Mata, Marshall and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. If Jesse Lingard did start, like Andy Mansell's saying, I wouldn't be unhappy with that at all. I absolutely am a big fan of Jesse Lingard. I think he deserves more credit than he gets for club and country. His movement off the ball is excellent. He scored a fantastic goal for United against Middlesbrough as well. Now, Rayan says Fosu. Thank you for joining us again, Rayan. Now, I would love to see Timothy Fosu meant to start, but he's had 4 minutes in the league for Manchester United this season. 4 minutes in the league. He has started another game or 2, I think, as well, in the Europa League and EFL Cup. But 4 minutes in the league suggests to me that he isn't going to start this game. I would be really disappointed about that. Timothy Fosu Mensah. Now, Paul on the Full-Time Devils preview said it earlier that he thinks one of Jose Mourinho's mistakes, and I think he was right in this, has been Timothy Fosu Mensah not playing enough games because we've had the opportunities to. But the way Fosu Mensah speaks about his future at the club, the way he appears in training, how happy he seems, to me suggests it's like a man that's comfortable with his future at the club. And I hope Jose Mourinho, if he's not playing him for whatever reason, I hope Jose Mourinho is in his ear telling him that he has a future and telling him that he will get game time next season. Of course, throughout the season, we lost Schneiderlin, we lost Bastian Schweinsteiger. So those players have come out of the pecking order ahead of him. Of course, now with injuries, you'd like to think, he should be starting. But I'm not expecting that with only 4 minutes of Premier League football under his belt. Timmy is not match fit, says J Football Live. and that's not his fault though. And I do agree, he did play for the Dutch under-21s in the international break, but yeah, I can't see him starting this game as much as I would love him to. But as I say, I hope if Jose Mourinho isn't playing him for whatever reason, he's in his ear telling him he has a future, because Timothy Fosu-Mensah is a fantastic talent. He's one of the best talents at this club. When you look at the talents that we have at this club, I think him and Andreas Pereira are the two standout players for me. Of course, we have others coming through as well. I'm not saying they're the only ones, but for me, they're standout players, and I want to see them given opportunities, and I hope that comes next season. I really do hope that comes, and it's not more of Jose Mourinho the same and not giving youngsters game time. You could go against that and say he's giving Rashford game time, and you can go against that and say he wants to change things at Manchester United. So, yeah, I hope that happens. But generally speaking, I am very happy with Jose Mourinho's management. Just because I'm saying that I think this is a mistake, and I agree with what Paul said in the United preview on Full-Time Devils. Just although I agree it's a mistake, and I think he's made mistakes with Luke Shaw as well, overall, I am totally happy with what he's doing. Yes, I'm seeing a few of you guys mention Tuanzebe, and Tuanzebe is definitely one of those talents, and he was one of those players that was in my head. Angel Gomez is another one, Matty Willock, DJ Buffon, Tahit Chong. We've got so many players that are coming through, so there's loads of them there. But I think Fosu and Pereira are the standout, and the two that are nearest to the first team, in my opinion, alongside Axel Tuanzebe, who has been name-checked by Jose Mourinho on a number of occasions as well. So that's good, if anything. He started in that Wigan game in pre-season, played very well. Jose Mourinho gave him a hug and stuff on the pitch. And he's name-checked him a few times as a player that he sees with a future at the club. So that's great news. Completely. So my 11 again for you guys is David De Gea, Valencia, Rojo, Bailey, Luke Shaw, or Daily Blind. I'd prefer to Luke Shaw, Carrick, and then Pogba or Fellaini, depending who's fit enough. Mkhitaryan, Mata, Marshall, and Rashford. A lot of you guys are saying that we should be playing Jesse Lingard, though. Fair play to you guys. Forget Neymar, he ain't coming, says Gigolo Joe. I agree as well. I don't think that one's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Ed Woodward was trying to make it happen. I'm sure he would love to sign someone like that, but I don't think it will happen. Guys, feel free to get your predictions and your team predictions and your questions in for me. Packed Mouse says, what's my score prediction? My score prediction, and that's the last thing that I wanted to speak about as well in the preview. My score prediction for this game is 2-1 to Manchester United. I think it'll be a tie. I think West Bromwich Albion will pose us a lot of threats. And I think it'll be a difficult game. But I really do hope we get the 3 points and get out of there with 3 points, because they are vital. Sitting 5th in the league now. Some big games going on around us coming up soon. So we need to be taking points and winning games. We've dropped too many games at home this season, and that needs to stop now. Starting with this game against West Bromwich Albion. We've only won one of our last 4 home league games. That's just simply not good enough. We need to be winning many, many more. Akshay says 0-0 international hangover. I hope you're wrong. Ikran agrees with me and says 2-1. 3-1 United says Pretolia. 3-1 says Pujan. We need to thrash them. 4-0 says Guled. 3-0 says Taran. Going to my first game in a few years on Saturday. Can't wait, says Bulldog. Have fun, mate. Hope it's a good game for you. Matt will be the key tomorrow, says Ikran. It's on Saturday, so we're still a little bit away. But yeah, I am really looking forward to this one. How many more games on Zlatan's ban, says MFC 40 TV. Only one game remaining on his ban, so we should be back after this game for the Everton game on Tuesday. Arya, thank you for tuning in. Liverpool, Everton and Arsenal City play each other. We need to capitalise, says Pretolia. That is bang on, mate. Those teams will be dropping points. Obviously, Everton are behind us. We don't need to worry about them, hopefully. But with Liverpool, Arsenal, City having difficult fixtures, we need to capitalise. If we win all our games in hand, we go ahead of Liverpool, which is also a positive as well, which means we need to keep up the pace and we need to keep winning games. Manuela, thank you for joining us. If I could sign any player, who would it be, says Cool Beans. Difficult question. I'd say Griezmann. But that's a bit of an obvious one, given that he's going to come anyway. Luka Modric. I'm a huge fan of Luka Modric. Huge fan. I would love him at Manchester United. Imagine him and Pogba, where like someone sat behind him. Herrera, Modric, Pogba. Could that work? I love Modric. Tony Cruz is probably more what we need, but I just love Luka Modric. Did you go to Miss Show last night in Brum? I didn't, unfortunately, Rayan. It looked like an absolutely banger though. Rashford and Mickey T will surely score, says Deepak. I hope so, mate. Be great for Rashford to get a goal as well after missing a few opportunities against Middlesbrough. A few great saves by Valdez, but there was one of them he should have put away. After missing a few opportunities against Middlesbrough, despite the fact he put in a great performance, and that's what I liked about Jose Mourinho's comments after the game. He said that Marcus Rashford's performance was fantastic. He did everything but score, and that was bang on. I was glad he didn't come out and say something like, "Oh, he needed to be taking his chances, etc., etc." Because that would be a worry for me. Because look, other players have missed opportunities in this team. Zlatan Ibrahimovic being one of them. So yeah, man, we need him to start taking his chances. Rashford needs to take his chances, but I hope he scores. Jimmy, thank you for joining us, mate, and thank you for getting involved for the first time. If you are a newcomer to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Bastian Schweinsteiger has gone. I didn't get to speak about that before it happened during the international break. Really disappointed about that. How it ended up, obviously I could see it coming. I'm not surprised he's left. I'm not really gutted that he's left because he didn't play for Manchester United. But I'm gutted that he didn't turn out any better. I'm gutted that he didn't have a bigger influence in terms of playing at Manchester United. And I'm gutted he didn't play more. But good luck to him out in Chicago. Good luck to him out in Chicago. Would I like Falcao back or not? I don't think you ever go back. I love Falcao to bits, but we got to look forward now. And Rashford and Marshall are the future. Who's been our best player so far this season? You're looking at Valencia, Herrera, Zlatan, and even Pogba. But I'd say out of Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Herrera. Sorry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Valencia. Out of those two is what I'd say. Hope I answered that just as well. Samuel, in terms of player of the year, Zlatan or Valencia. Respect to little Bradley. Yeah, shout out to him, man. And great stuff that Jermaine Defoe does with him. I hope he gets the treatment that he needs. It's sad to see kids on it. It's sad to see anybody like that, but when it's kids, it obviously strikes a chord, doesn't it? Pogba needs to improve in the big games. I think he does, but I think United needs to improve as a whole in the big games as well. When you look at the big games, you look at Liverpool away, we didn't play great. We played defensively. You look at Chelsea away, we got battered 4-0. You look at Chelsea away in the Cup, we went down to 10 men early doors. Man City at home, you should have maybe done better in that game, but I think that game was very early in the season. The team hadn't settled or gelled together. We've still got Chelsea at home to come, City away, Arsenal away, Spurs away. So he's got a lot of opportunities to do that. I think in the Liverpool game at home as well, and the Arsenal game, he created so many opportunities. It was unfortunate that he didn't. People didn't put them away, otherwise they would have looked at his performance a little bit different as well. So I think he has been a little bit unlucky, but in the main, his performances do need to improve. But I think he has played well, and I think he's been in our top 5 players this season. I don't live in Essex now, that's a strange question. What are we going to do with Januzaj? Everyone's forgotten about him. Jose Mourinho was a big fan of Januzaj, but it seems he's had an attitude problem from what you hear coming out of the club and stuff. And I hope he not, because he did okay at Sunderland. He hasn't teared up trees or anything. I hope he does well. The one for me is Andreas Pereira, man. He needs to get involved. J-Bad, how you doing, mate? We've just been speaking about the game that's coming up. Thank you for joining us if it's a little bit late. You can catch up with the rest of the stream later on when it goes up after we've finished the live stream here, if you can't scroll back right now. Top 4 race will be fire this weekend. It will be Bolgi. Do you think signing of Gabriel Jesus for Man City has urged Mourinho to have a striker this summer? I don't know. If Zlatan stays, I'd be surprised if we signed a striker. Or do we need another striker? What do you guys think? I think Rashford's the future, man. And I really want to see him given a big future. Wouldn't be surprised if we signed someone like Griezmann, a direct replacement for Wayne Rooney. There's been talk about Eric Dyer. Please, no. He's a decent player, but there's so many better options out there. And I'd rather we played someone like Fosu Mensah than Eric Dyer, to be honest. I think if we played Fosu Mensah for a season, I think he'd be better than Eric Dyer. Whereas the next United Road podcast says more. It's up today, so you can go and check that out right after this. I'll put the link in the comments below. That nutmeg, I'm guessing you're talking about Rashford's Taron. It was a great nutmeg. Unless you're talking about mine and AJ3. If you haven't seen that, then go and check out my Sean Garnier vlog that I did, the Pana tournament. It's up on my channel. You can go and check that out. But yeah, man, I'm going to recap my 11 and my prediction. Recap my 11 and my prediction for the game. My 11 and my prediction is David De Gea in goal, Valencia, Rojo, Bailey, Luke Shaw, Carrick, Pogba or Fellaini, Mata, Mickey, Marshall and Marcus Rashford. I'm going for a tight 2-1 win to Manchester United. I really hope we get these 3 points. It's a vital 3 points for the Reds on Saturday. We need to keep the pressure on the teams above us. We need to keep going as well. And we need to keep it going so that if we win our game in hands, we're above Liverpool and in that top 4. Because as it stands, the top 4 race is in our hands. We will be in the top 4 if we do our job. But we need to do our job. And we need to win games at home. We've won 1 of our last 4 home league games. That's simply not good enough. Yes, we've been 18 unbeaten and we've won 10, drawn 8. But I would have rather lost 2 of those games if we'd won a few more. Because ultimately, drawing games, you're dropping too many points. And it needs to improve at home. Starting with this game against West Bromwich Albion, it is not going to be easy at all. It's not going to be easy. West Brom are in great form at the moment. And we need to make sure we don't let them capitalise on the players that we have out at the moment, because that's simply not an excuse for a bad result in this game. Guys, I've been Adam McKola. This has been Adam McKola TV. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment and share. I will be at the game on Saturday and Tuesday for you guys asking. So make sure you check out all the content on this channel and on Full Time Devils as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go and check out the United Road podcast as well, SoundCloud and on iTunes. The latest episode is up featuring rants and bants. For now though, guys, I'm Adam McKola. I'm out of here.